What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you how to run the ball like a pro in Madden 19. Now, I know a lot of you guys are having trouble running the ball this year. I did a video a little bit ago called the top 5 tips for mastering the run game. If you haven't seen that video yet, I will link it in the description below. I definitely suggest watching that if you haven't yet, but even after that video, a lot of people still said they were still having trouble, and running the ball is definitely a lot harder this year than it was last year. But in today's video, what I'm going to do is, instead of giving you tips to improve the run game, I'm going to show you a formation that you can use to run the ball out of that's really easy. It's a really dominant formation in terms of running the ball. So if this is your first time checking out one of my videos and you want to stay up to date on the best Madden 19 tips and gameplay all year long, consider hitting the subscribe button below and hitting the bell icon so that you join the notification squad. So the formation we're going to look at today is the single back ace double wing, also known as single back jumbo heavy. Many of you might remember this from Madden 17. It was a very overpowered formation in Madden 17. It was also pretty good last year as well. If you're a guy that is dead set on running the ball, this is a formation you need to be in, because whether you're a beginner or you're an advanced player, this formation is very easy to run the ball out of, and there's also some good passing plays in it as well. It can only be found, to my knowledge, in the run balanced playbook, which isn't a bad playbook, so you might want to look into that. But now, why is it good? Well, we have 4 tight ends on this set. There's no wide receivers. So yes, that means the pass game will slack a little bit, but the pass plays are so good that it kind of doesn't really matter. And if you're a guy that plays an ultimate team, well, you can just get the 4 best tight ends to where, you know, you got guys out there that are just as good as some receivers. But basically, you have 4 tight ends here, or a fullback, depending on your team. So these guys are better run blockers than wide receivers. If you're having trouble with getting block shedded with running the ball, this formation is a lot harder to block shed because you have so many big bodies out there. And then if you really want to run the ball, what you can do in these spots is you can actually sub in offensive linemen. You see, I can put a left tackle here, a right tackle here. If I go over here to the end, you see, again, I can put, in this spot you can. In this last spot, you can only put a tight end, a fullback, or a halfback. But if we go to this inside, you see here, I can put left tackle, I can put a right tackle there. So when you have plays where you want to come out and just pound the rock, you can load up pretty much like 9 offensive linemen or 8 offensive linemen out here, and that gets pretty crazy. So that just means it's a lot harder to get block shedded, and you can really make some damage with that. So what plays we have? We have the halfback dive, we have the weak toss, we have the counter, I don't really mess with the smash, and we have the stretch. So let's just look at the weak toss first, and we'll just run it versus random defense here. Now, what I like to do is, whichever side I'm running to, I want to motion the inside guy from the other side. So if I'm running this to the left, I want to motion over Hooper, and it's going to make the defense shift, but that's okay. And then right here, we're going to snap it, and then we're trying to get out here in the open space and make moves. This formation really opens up the running lanes. If you are having trouble running the ball, I really feel like this is the formation you need to be in if you want to run the ball. The blocking is very, very good in this formation. You will see more times than not, you will get consistent yardage on the ground with this formation. It's very hard to block shed. You have good bodies out here that can really get out there and block for you. You get in the open space, that's when you use your jukes and your spins, of course. Now, just like in my other tip video for running the ball, like I stress, you don't want to hold turbo too soon, because that definitely helps increase the block shed. You don't want to hold turbo till you get out into the open field. Behind the line of scrimmage, you never want to hold turbo this year. 2 reasons. 1, it increases the block shed likelihood, and 2, it makes it harder for you to cut and you know, weave through the open holes when you're holding turbo this year. Now, see, the defense right here is completely vulnerable up the middle. In a situation like this, I would audible to the halfback dive because it's wide open. If it's wide open, you take it. And see, this is another good thing. You see how a lot of guys got pancaked there? If you're playing one of those people that aren't smart on defense and they don't like to match personnel, if they're coming out in like a nickel defense while you're sitting here, you know, with all these tight ends on the field, you're going to pancake them and absolutely annihilate them in the run game. Now that was actually, they had good containment on the edge. I was able to make them miss with a spin move. Nothing's foolproof. I'm not saying you're going to run for 5 yards every single play, but you can see that consistently. And we're just really running a toss right now. We haven't really opened up yet. You see the blocking sets up really nicely. You get to the outside, you can really make things happen with this. And we're going to get to the pass plays in a little bit, just to show you how good the pass plays are. So if they do try to overcommit to the run, you have some good passes you can go to. So here again, the inside looks a little bit more open, so we can go with a dive. We can still motion this guy to give it the same look. You know, we can snap the ball a little bit earlier. You know, just trying to give it the same look so that they think, oh, he's running the toss, but that doesn't mean you're actually running the toss. You could still be running the dive. oh, maybe they'll think, oh, they're running the toss to the other side here, but really what we're doing now is we're going up the middle for a dive, easy 5 to 6 yards. So you want to, you know, play around with the motions. You don't want to only motion. See here again, I mean, wide open. You're going up the middle. Kuechly made a good pursuit on the ball there, but even still, we got about 4 yards at about the part that he made contact with us, so that's still not bad. But you still want to motion when you run inside as well, because I mean, that's just, you want to play cat and mouse with your opponent. So another good run out of this is the stretch. And, you know, a lot of the best runs out of this are outside runs, but some people prefer stretches, some people prefer tosses, some people prefer counters. It's up to you what you want to run. So, and you can run these to either side of the field. It doesn't matter. But like I said, the blocking is really good with this formation because you don't have wide receivers out here that you're relying on. You have all like big bodies, tight ends, offensive linemen. And again, you know, you can use the same motion if you want. A lot of times I think, you know, the motion really helps open stuff up better. That was really bad stick by me. I should have took that outside. But as you can see here, you know, we can flip our play because it's a symmetrical formation. Obviously, once they see the motion, that somewhat gives away which side we want to run to. But again, you see how good the blocking sets up. And when you get a one-on-one, it's so easy to make people miss. Jukes and spins are still very good this year. It's still easy to make people miss in that open field. I like running to the left more, as you can see. I just feel like I run the ball better to the left. But you definitely want to take advantage to running this to both sides of the field. I tend to run more to the left because I just have more success with that. But as you can see, very easy to run out of this formation because of the personnel that we have, because of these big bodies out here. They're not going to get block shedded as much. I should not have cut that back inside. When it comes to run stick, I am not the best at actually running the ball. I can teach you how to run, but I'm not that great at running myself. I make a lot of dumb, boneheaded stuff like that. But you see here again, 4 to 5 yards. The stretch, the toss, very, very good outside runs in this formation. You're going to want to use them to your advantage. Use the motion. And when they start committing too much to the outside, that is when you want to, you know, use that halfback dive. The halfback dive should always be in your formation audibles for you to run it inside. So let's just kind of spread the defense out here just to, you know, maybe you've been killing them on the outside, the toss, the, you know, the stretch. You've just been killing them, so they're overly committing. And that, I mean, that's when the cat and mouse game comes in. They're overly committing to the outside. You know, again, you can still use the motion to try to, you know, throw them off, make them think you're going outside, but now you're going up the middle. This is a very easy formation to run out of. So let's move on to the next play here. I don't want this video to go too long because, I mean, I could talk about this formation all day. It's such a great formation. So we'll briefly just look at the counter. I'm not the biggest fan of counters, but some people have a lot of success with them. My recommendation with the counter is only run it to the left. When you run counters to the right side, they don't work nearly as well. You want to run it to, I feel like because the counters are designed to go left typically, so when you try to flip them right, they're not as good. But the counter is more of a run that, you know, like I said, as you can see, it's not as good as the other two outside runs. It can be good if you call it at the right time, or if the defense is just really over pursuing to one side of the field. You know, you can cut it to the outside, try to get yards. I'm not the biggest fan of it. As you can see, it's clearly not as good as the other runs we've broke down, but maybe you prefer counters. Maybe you run counters really well, and that's just an option for you in this formation. So now let's talk about the pass plays, because even though we do have, you know, we don't have the best receiving options in the world on the field. We have tight ends, but there's some good passing plays in here. So the main ones, you have the PA tight end cross, you have the PA counter waggle, and you have the tight end corners. First, we'll just talk about the PA counter waggle. It's very simple, and, you know, keep in mind, if you're out here and you're dominating with the run, it's going to really open up these pass plays. So the PA counter waggle plays off of the counter. Pretty much the only thing you have to do to set this up, in my opinion, is you put A on a streak. You can take the play action guy, you can block the running back if you want, but you can carry it out just to try to fake them out and make them think, you know, you're running the ball. But, you know, first thing you can always look to is just this little crossing route right here. It's a very simple crossing route. Keep in mind, the guy that's running that crossing route right there is not fast. I think he's like in the 70s speed. He's very slow. He's not fast at all. And you can just see, but he still gets a good, nice little boost on that cut because of the route. It's one of those routes that kind of give you a little bit of a speed boost when you cut. So you can see, very easy dump down, especially if they're, you know, again, you know, you can motion this guy over, block him, and they're thinking like, oh, he's about to run to that side of the field. So they're, you know, they might run over there with their user, and then boom, you're going to the opposite side of the field with this cross. Now, another reason I really like this play is because you have this post over the middle. So especially here, I'll just cancel the play action. So let's say that maybe somebody kind of keyed in on you and they got ready, and they're like, oh, you know, I'm gonna go user the crossing route. So I'm just going to man this guy up on Y to try to simulate, you know, a user vacating the area. This is where the cat and mouse game comes in. So he's going to go over there to try to guard that, and then you have the post over the back end. He got lit up and dropped the ball, but you see what I'm saying? That's a fullback, so typically you'd want a tight end in that spot, not a fullback, because a tight end's got better hands. But you could see he was very much so open, because if the user is going to vacate that area, he's going to be open. Another thing I love about this play is it kills people that like to run cover 2. This B route is a cover 2 killer. It was the same way in Madden 17. It was one of the best plays in the game because of that. But you're going to see that when he cuts towards the sideline, all you want to do is just throw a bullet pass. And we threw that way too early, so that just made me look like a complete liar. But we're going to run it again. I just threw the ball way too early. I'm always kind of paranoid in practice mode, because I always feel like they're going to block shit immediately, because they usually do. So I throw the ball out earlier than it needs to be thrown. But as you can see, again, now we got over the top of them. And I'm going to run it one more time, because I want you to know that it's consistent, and don't think I'm sitting here blowing smoke, because that's not what I'm about. So we'll run it again. And the good thing, too, is you can block some of these extra guys on the line. Like, I can go here and I can block X, because they're all on the line. I can go here, I can block Y if I want to. I can block all these guys if I want to. So this also helps with blocking blitzes, like the contain blitz. If someone's trying to do that to you, that's no good with this formation. See how quick the block shed comes in? We had, like, well, we had 8 guys blocking there, and they still block shed immediately. But, again, I'm going to run it one more time, because I just want you to see that it does indeed do a very good job against Tampa 2. You can see it gets, man, see how quick the block shed comes? Like, it's so frustrating. Like, these are the type of things that make the videos longer than they need to be, because I'm just trying to show one route, and, they just can't hold their block. Look. So, again, you see we got over the top of them. Now, another thing that's good about this against Tampa 2 is you can still throw the check down against Tampa 2. If you throw it a little bit quicker, you can throw the check down to Y against Tampa 2, because he's going to get underneath everything as well. Boom, very easy. That's the quick read. If that's open, you want to always take that. But if you wait a second longer, the cloud flat will start to bite down on it, which opens up the corner to the sideline. So you have that. Now, you have the PA tight end cross, and this looks like the halfback dive run. So for this, I would just do something like, you can put A on a whip route just to have like an underneath route, and you carry out the play action. If A's open, dump it down to him. You can see we're getting upfield easy 6-7 yards. If they play, some type of underneath coverage, for example, we'll go to the PA play. Then you have the crossing route, and that's one of those good crossing routes right here. Even though it is a tight end, it's still a very good crossing route. You can see if they try to bite down underneath. There's tight ends on the field, but these are really good passing plays. They're very, very good passing plays, and you want to take advantage of the play actions because they play off the run. You see here we can go to the other side of the field. We have ways to attack every type of coverage, and it's a run-first offense, so you're going to get people in run defense very often, and you're going to be able to really pick them apart when you do decide to actually pass. See, again, I mean, there's holes open. Now, one last passing play we can look at out of this. Even though this is more of a run video, I'm just showing you how good the pass plays are. You can use tight end corners. You can do something like streak A, put B on an in route. And then, I mean, you have some good routes here. You have the little crooked post right here to X. Very good. Very hard to guard this. That's a fullback running this route. It's not even a wide receiver. But the plays are so good that you don't need elite talent here. Now, if you're playing Mutt and you put elite tight ends here, then you're really cooking. But again, I mean, this X route, very consistent, very hard to stop. One of those routes that kind of has to be user guarded, or you have to like manually try to man him up. If they cover that, okay, then you check it down underneath. I mean, this is a really good formation, but it's a run-first formation with a really solid pass plays. So if you're having trouble running the ball or just playing under center in general, because people that typically have trouble running the ball, they want to play that under center style, this is one of the best under center formations you can use. It's very easy to run, but you can see you can tear people up with the pass as well. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If it was, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I will see you guys next time.